Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about manhood. More specifically, why masculinity is your call of duty as a man. You must embrace this. Now, today's world, most guys grow up in dysfunctional or broken homes with a weak or absent father. They don't get a healthy blueprint of how to be a man. They walk around lost and they cause more problems for themselves. We see low self-esteem, depression, suicide, abusive men. That isn't masculine. This needs to change. So, whether you are a man or a woman watching, what I'm about to say in this following video is sure to educate you. I'm going to give you more of a biblical breakdown of the way things should be. And to do this, I'm going to read to you an extraction from my upcoming book. So I'm giving you all some early access. So with that said, let's get right into it. Pay close attention. There is a distinct and clear difference in how men and women are designed. Every branch of science, from neuroscience to anthropology, now confirms something the Bible has laid out all along. I believe that those differences are good and they are there for a reason. God has an intended framework for what a man should be and what a woman should be. And every part of our identities will be affected by how we live out that design. Most of us today would agree that men and women are different and simply move on. Yet, without truly understanding the ramifications of manhood and womanhood, and without a clear vision of how and why they are different, both men and women will struggle to live a compelling life. You see, there is nothing specific to aspire to strive to, or check ourselves against. One must be able to ask himself questions such as, am I a good man? Am I honourable? Did I behave like a man today? What qualities should I look for in a woman? How do I care for my woman? If God has really created us male and female for a purpose, then these are absolutely essential questions that a man must ask himself. And the only place that life-giving, encouraging answers can be found is in a biblical understanding of maleness and femaleness. We learn in Genesis that of all the things God created, none is more meaningful than humanity. Men and women stand as equals at the apex of God's created order. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 27, we read, God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. Here we learn that the woman and men were designed to reflect God's image over the rest of creation. But just as important is what lies at the heart of this design. Of all things, it is gender, which is male and female. The first thing you must do is decide what this means to you. This is a crucial aspect for how you live. Either God created us special, defined, and purposeful, or we're merely a product of chance. Of course, you can choose to believe that everything exists by pure accident and that nothing has meaning. Therefore, you are left to create a subjective definition of womanhood and manhood, which always leads to failure, as we see in the current times. On the other hand, if you choose to accept the truth that we are created with specific qualities, unique talents, according to God's will, then you are called to embrace a fixed meaning to your life. You are created with purpose, design, and meaning. Your life has value, yet it is up to you to accept this in order to fully embrace your masculinity, or else your life will fall into confusion and despair. Men and women are not the same and never will be. Men and women are unique and special in their own ways. In a relationship, in marriage, a man will come together with a woman and complement one another. Men and women are made for one another. The act of a man and woman joining together is natural. As humans, we are not designed to live independently from one another. The very act of a man and a woman coming together is the definition of life, as it is the only way life can be made. When you depolarize the relationship between man and woman, you attack the very bond that creates life, and you undermine the most important foundation to a well-adjusted world. The pursuit of sameness and equality in today's society is a gigantic dishonor to both men and women, including God's design. On the other hand, a healthy society honors the differences between the sexes, knowing that the two exist as equal opposites. Men are dominant and women are submissive. This means that as men, we are proactive and women are reactive. Men are creators, builders, and founders of nations. Men form things, they lead families, they start wars and end wars. They protect the weak and innocent whilst providing safety and protection for their women and children. The foundation of every society lies in the hands of men. The founders will always be the masters and decide the way things play out. Power and leadership is a gift bestowed upon men by God. This is why the corrupt and immoral go after masculinity. They don't want men to be masculine. This is why they tear down gender, attack family and traditionalism. There is no better way for them to win than to weaken and feminize men, because man is the head of the house. If you cut off the head, the society will descend into chaos. Without moral men in control, women and children will soon become lost without proper guidance. Masculinity is your call of duty. Guys, that's all it comes down to. Embrace and develop your manhood, and you shall be esteemed as morally right and justifiable in the eyes of God and people. Women will react to you and respond to you favorably. This is what you must comprehend. You cannot expect women to respect you nor admire you when you are weak, pathetic, and insecure. For this very reason, you will find that the more you become as a man, the more things will naturally flow with women. Funny how that works, guys. The more you face the truth of how God designed you to be and master your manhood, the more you will align yourself with the right woman, the right career path, and the right opportunities will also present themselves. A woman is created as the helpmeet to a man. In other words, she's designed to support him. You give her your seed and she will create life. She will turn your house into a home. Anything you give her, she will increase in value. Women offer a touch of beauty and grace to the world that is essential to the well-being of mankind. She is there to nurture him, encourage him, inspire him, and love him. However, she is limited in doing so if a man is not masculine enough to lead her. Women are not as strong as men, so expecting them to behave and see the world as men do is childish. Women are emotional beings. They are soft, feminine, and vulnerable. Yet they can only remain so in an environment where they feel safe and secure. The world we see today is full of women that are overcompensating for the lack of traditional masculine men. We are on the verge of cursing an entire generation of humanity with confusion, emotional dysfunction, and trauma due to a lack of fatherhood, motherhood, and increase of broken homes. That's why the captain goes down with the ship. That's why men have been willing to fight and die on the battlefield since the beginning of time. That's why it's women and children first. If civil unrest or war broke out tomorrow, the entire feminist narrative would cease to exist. Because when it comes down to it, we all know that only men are capable of stopping evil. Power lies in the hands of men. Everyone knows this, even though few have the testicular fortitude to say it. Take every modern day woman and put her back in the days of our grandparents, or further back in time, and they will be cooking and cleaning in no time. They will gladly serve and love their men because they knew that they were respectable, honourable, and trusted to lead the home and keep society safe from any threat to the family unit. This is extremely important to understand. The world we live in today is because men and women have fallen far away from being traditional. People have turned their backs on God and they live for themselves. And this is what we have. So if you're watching this as a man and you want a submissive, traditional woman that has a good character, yet you reject Christ, you reject God and his teachings, you are not worthy of that type of woman. You cannot expect the fruit, yet you don't water the tree. Do you understand that? If you're watching this and you're a woman and you think you're entitled to a good man who's a leader, a protector, provider, you will never get that. You do not deserve that if you reject God and you're not a traditional faith-based woman. You see, guys and gals, what you need to understand is man submits to God. Woman submits to man. And with her submission to her man, she honors God. That is the order it must follow. That's how God made us to be, because he designed us to be different. And you can live whatever way you want. You can believe all the MGTOW lies you see, or ladies, you can believe all that feminism stuff that you see, and it's just going to keep leading you down a slippery slope of misery. And this is why we have so many damaged men and women that believe that all women are the same or all men are the same and you can't trust the opposite gender and everybody's against each other. There's all this division. Because you can't do things just naturally. You can't just wing it. If you do not have traditional faith-based values, you will never have a true relationship that brings you joy. I can guarantee you that. Because you look at the way people live naturally, just look at what that has brought us. What, Netflix and chill, hookups, casual sex, one-night stands, young girls getting pregnant, STDs, broken homes, promiscuity, higher divorce rate, childhood trauma, and misery for all, right? Because human beings are not naturally disciplined. You can't just, I'm just going to go out there and date someone and not know what you're looking for in a partner and not understand yourself properly. You're going to struggle. You need to have principles and standards and boundaries and a sense of morality. And that comes from God. That's the source of where it originates from. That's really what I can say on that. Traditional family values, going back to the way things are, that's the only way that society is ever going to heal from all of the pain that we see in today's world. Because modern men and modern women are just as bad as each other. They're just as degenerate, just as selfish, just as damaged. And guess what? Damaged men and women cannot create healthy offspring. They cannot raise the next generation of humanity to be emotionally stable, to be good, to be moral, to be honorable, when they themselves are messed up. Do you not see how dangerous this is? If you want a real relationship, if you want a true marriage based on morality, you got to make sure you're a righteous man or a righteous woman. Okay? Go through the red flags, make sure the partner you choose is also traditional and actually lives that way. You've got to break down the entire thing. You can't just go in blind and with your feelings and your emotions and just run it from there. You have to have structure. You have to have order. That comes from traditional values. And if you believe that you, as a man, can follow your own idea of what it means to be a man, that's why your life is the way it is. That just doesn't work. God made us male and female. There is a clear-cut distinction between the sexes, and that's wonderful because we're unique and we are complementary. As a man, your call of duty is to embrace your masculinity. To any ladies watching, your call of duty is to really bring out your femininity. And when you really live that way, in the way you were designed to be, you're naturally more confident. Your self-esteem rises, so do your standards. You will naturally know what to do because you're living in truth. Stay out of sin, stay out of dysfunction, stay away from selfishness and any ideology or belief system that divides men and women, that promotes, something casual or just hooking up or any type of degeneracy. That's really what I have to say on that. So, with that said, hope you all enjoyed the video. If you would like to reach out to me privately to book a coaching call or share your story with me, the email is down in the description. Feel free to share my content with friends and family or encourage them to reach out to me if they are in need, if you believe they are in need of my advice. Feel free to send them my way. With that said, hope you all have a wonderful day. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll chat to you guys in the next one.